What's up? I think I'm live. I'm taking a look over here at my phone here to make sure I am live. Let's go to this section of it. Does not show yet. Mm, we can come out. Okay, there we go, guys. It looks like we finally got live here. I think at least one or two of you have found me. All right, and my man Cal has found me. What's going on, Cal? I appreciate it. It looks like a few more of you have found the place. I appreciate you guys sticking in there with me because we are almost a half hour late. But as I said, I'm going to get the celebration rolling. 2 years. Thank you for everybody who's been supporting me for that time. I'm just going to roll through the chat here real quick. So who actually found me through all that nonsense? Adrian is also here. He says, "How's it going?" Lutolo, he said, "Congratulations, thanks, Lutolo." And got a fist bump from my man Cal, our favorite Superman, everybody's favorite Superman. So yeah, I'm very happy that you guys found me. Hopefully, a few more will find me because we've got some issues going on behind the scenes, at least on my end. I'm not even showing that I'm live yet on my end, but yeah. So let me give you a quick rundown on what I'm doing. I'm just going to run through the things that I've been watching for the last couple of months. If you didn't hear this before, I'm just repeating it. Um, I'm gonna show my letterbox, but I'm not gonna go through every movie painstakingly and making this take a long time. I'm gonna do batches at a time. See if you guys have any questions about it, comments about it, or thoughts about those movies at all. If not, we move on to the next batch till I get through it, and then we'll just do a little Q&A at the end. And I may be giving away some digital codes tonight. I will be giving away some digital codes tonight, so we'll see how that goes. So stick around if you want some of those. And I'm just seeing if a few more people have found me. Lutolo's talking to Callie, says, "Why you feel so light skinned? You got vitiligo." That's a fair question, I suppose. So I'll let Cal answer that. Let him handle that one. All right, guys. The monkey found me, and I'm gonna read his comment, and then I'm gonna speak directly to the monkey. And it looks like we got an intro, so I appreciate that. The intro says Del Cinetostins, I guess that is, on the 2 year mark. The interviewer with the most heart. You make a movie swap, a work of art. Oh, he's got bars over here. Your swap started a YouTube stream. Change the ones you pick. Sure shows your range. I'm gonna highlight that one sentence. Your swap started a YouTube stream. Change. I've noticed, Monkey. I've not said anything about it though. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I noticed. So we're gonna just skip on past that for now. But I did want to talk directly to him. He's been a great supporter of the channel, or just Monkey. You've been a great supporter of the channel. I really do appreciate it. Recently, I did a video bunch of people to tell me what their favorite movie of all time was. Monkey went out of his way above and beyond. He actually made a video about it. So definitely head over to his channel, check out that video. I'll link it in the description at the end of the show. And when I made my video, though, I totally forgot about his, and I had watched it and commented on it, but I totally forgot about it. And I apologized to him then and behind the scenes, but now apologizing up front. He and another YouTuber, my guy Nick over at Movie AV Impulse, same thing. I just kind of missed his comment, and I do have a video that I already made answering those questions, or not answering those questions, but reacting to you guys' favorites. That video will come out this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. And I appreciate you just continuing to support the channel. All right, let's see who else is out here. Looks like we got a couple more people popped in. Caveman popped in. Please hit the like button. Absolutely, Caveman, or Guy, as his name is. And maybe Mrs. Caveman isn't far behind. I know they've had some health issues lately, so good to see them both still hanging out. and so much colorism, shaking his head, right? Well, you know that's the day. That's the day we live in. And there's Miss K, man. She said hello and congrats. Thank you very much. And just talking to you guys, just seeing how everybody else is doing. And we know the drill. You guys get in here, we talk back and forth, and I love it because I do the same thing on some of you guys' streams. And when I get there, Holland congratulating me. Thank you a bunch, Holland. Another great supporter of the channel and a lot of channels. Holland just shows up everywhere. I know I'm an official stream if Holland is there. It's got some more hellos to that. And so yeah, it's been quite a journey these 2 years, and maybe we can talk more about that later. Let's just get to it. Let's just go ahead and get started on what we're going to talk about, which is just the movies that I've been watching these last couple of months. And I this year I decided I was going to do a video every month of the movies that I watched, and I've generally seemed to fall a couple of weeks late, so that hasn't really happened. It's happened, but it's been late, and I just missed May altogether. Not May, but April. I missed April altogether, and the end of May just ended. So I'm gonna combine those two, and we'll talk about those. And I'm going all the way back to the beginning of April. And like I said, I'm not going to hit every one of these movies, or not for a long time anyway. I'm just going to run through it. You can see what's on the screen over there. We started with Maggie, was a movie I watched for a movie swap with Corey. I know Corey's on his channel right now, so if you're coming over from there, thank you. And if you come later and watch it because you were watching his stream, thank you also. The Book of Clarence is one I want to talk just a little bit about. This was a fantastic movie. It got a bad rep from particularly Black religious groups and just people who are heavily into religion, because from the trailer it just looked like this 100% blasphemous thing. And to be fair, it is making some commentary on religion, but it does it in a really good way. It's a funny movie. Lakeith Stanfield is fantastic on it, and I gave it a 4. And one thing about me, guys, is I tend to initially score a little bit lower than I think it might wind up, because I want to either watch it again or give it time to marinate and see if I like it better or worse. And so Book of Clarence is one I could see, moving up to a 4.5 stars for me. A couple of movies here I'd never seen before, believe it or not. So I was just kind of looking for something I could watch while I was cooking one day, believe it or not. And I do cook quite a bit actually. Happy Gilmore I'd never seen, and Twins I had never seen. So I watched them both. Happy Gilmore was pretty decent and Twins was a little better. So I like those both. Uh RRR, I watched that for a movie swap with that was with my guy Zach Attack Reviews. The Greatest Night in Pop, if you've seen that on Netflix or at least going past the poster, that's the documentary about We Are the World. And that was pretty good. Requiem for a Dream was the other movie I had Zach watch for our movie swap. Roadhouse, the remake. So as you can see here, I got 3.5 stars. And honestly, what might happen is it'll go up to a 5 star with a heart. And what that means for people who don't really know is that that doesn't mean I think it's a good movie. When I go 5 stars in a heart, it means it's just so bad it's awesome. And that's what I think about the remake for Roadhouse. It's really spectacularly dumb. And I just had a fun time with it. The Sadness, that I watched for a movie swap. Was that Patrick? I can't remember if that was Patrick from Half Cheetah Will View. I think that's who had me watch that one, and that was a tough watch, but a really good movie. And let's get to the we're continuing on. As you can see, some of the movies as I'm scrolling by. The Beekeeper, I really had a fun time with. 3.5 for me. Uh, Damsel. It's one of those movies I'm having a hard time remembering what Damsel was. That was kind of like the action. Yeah, kind of like an action flick. It was cool. My daughter had me watch that one. That was pretty cool. 3 stars. 3 stars for me is I like the movie. Werewolves Within, horror comedy I'm a fan of. That's 4 star for me. Mad Max Fury Road, I'm like everybody else. I love it. 4.5. Marcel the Shell with Shoes on, I really enjoyed, 3.5 stars. And that takes us really 2/3 of the way into all the way through April. So I'm just going to we're going to come back to that, and I just want to see if anybody has any of the has any comments for any of these movies, or if anybody else popped in to say anything or to say what's up or anything like that. And let's see. Cal says 2 years in, what have you learned, you Jedi, and has your time turned you into a Sith? I'm gonna hold on those questions, so I'm gonna put a star in that one. And when we get to the Q&A part, I'm gonna come back to that question. That is a good question, actually. Um, we do have my man Jeff is here. I might have missed his initial quote, but what's going on, Jeff? I got to meet Jeff in person a few months back, so that was cool. You guys are all saying hi to him and each other. And so I may skip over a lot of these just hellos so I can get to either people just coming in or comments about the topic. My man Dimension Scott is here. What's going on? He says, "What's up?" and happy anniversary. Dimension's been doing a lot of video game content lately, and I'm not a video game player. I'm not a gamer anymore. It's been a long time since I've been playing any games. But I know a lot of you guys are. So check out his stuff. And he still does movie content because I just watched a couple of his videos a few days ago. So he's still doing that. Caveman said could have been an epic opportunity to finally use April Fools as a reason for missing those movie reviews. I never thought of that, but I suppose you're right. I got a happy anniversary here from Turner. What's going on, Rich? Rich was going to be 1/3 of the panel tonight. He was going to be on that movie swap, as I said earlier, with Dave. Again, I don't know if you saw when I first came on, guys, when I was having some technical difficulties. I actually talked about it, but Dave has had some things going on behind the scenes. He couldn't make it tonight, so hopefully we'll get that going next week. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a great movie swap. It's going to be my first with three movies we're going to talk about that night, and each of us got to pick a movie that the other two have never seen. So we are going to have a great time with that. And I hope they like my movie, and we'll talk about theirs. I'm not gonna let the cat out of the bag as far as that goes. I just want you guys to tune in, but stay tuned because I will let you know right now. I know if you look at my channel, it says it's scheduled for next Thursday, and that's probably going to be the day, but we're gonna find out for sure in the next day or two. Rich also said just came out of Bad Boys Ride or Die, and I had a blast. I think this is the first time I had fun in the theater this year. Wow. Um, that movie, I'm actually gonna go on to their channel. I'm going on Rich and Dave on Faces for Radio next Saturday. And if some of you in the chat might have asked me to be on a stream on a Saturday, and I was like, no, I can't really do weekends. This was actually scheduled for a weekday, but we had to push that back. So I said, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. And I'm actually going to see Bad Boys this Saturday, so I'll be ready for next week when I go on their show By the Numbers, where we talk about 5 movies that just came out either in the theater or streaming. So look forward to that. Adrian gives me a big happy anniversary. Thank you, Adrian. Monkey Eye, here we go. The Beekeeper made me laugh as the villain started out in another animal film, Firehouse Dog. I did not know that. I haven't seen Fire. I had no clue, but I did have a good time with the Beekeeper. Yeah, sorry we had to reschedule. I mean, things happen, right? So it is what it is. No big deal. Because I know I've had to cancel on people a time or two. Tiana's here. Hey, Tiana. She says happy anniversary to me. Thank you very much. Tiana is a great supporter of just about everybody in the YouTube, the Bluetooth community, at least in our corner of it. Because, there's lots of pockets all over the place. And she is a great supporter of our little corner. And Rich says he won't let the cat out of the bag about our movie swap, the movies that we are going to talk about. He says I might go see Bad Boys this weekend, Tiana. And Rich, I'm excited for your episode of uh, By the Numbers. Sorry, I couldn't read, couldn't talk for a second. I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to it. So I got a few movies to watch. I still got well, Bad Boys obviously Saturday. Then I got 3 movies to watch. Besides that, Cal says I wasn't alive today, and someone was saying they want to see you versus Jagoda Blue in a rematch battle. Wow. Yeah, I'm down, but that's up to my man D Ray. You know how that goes. He's not been doing battles lately. I know he's got a lot of other things going on. If he ever brings it back and he wants us on, I'm there. I'm down. 4K is my guy. What's up? Spicy's here. He says, "What's up?" and congrats on 2 years. Thank you, thank you. Spicy and a few of you in here, a lot of you in here. I need to get on this channel sometime for a movie swap or for something else. And K-Man says, "Hey, we did 4 movies, just the two of us." True, true, but it wasn't quite the same context. So, as in, we had 3 people and a movie that 2 other people hadn't seen. So, but you are absolutely right, K-Man. You and I did 4 movies. Tony Basement Blues, when he was on here, him and I actually did 4 movies because he watched a bunch of them. So the number's been done before, but the context as far as who's seen what hasn't. So uh thank you for reminding me though. I really appreciate that. And people saying how to read or spice, aka spicy, because it has been a while since I've seen him really out and about. So I'm glad he is here. Reached the end of the chat for the time being. And I'm just going to run through the next batch of movies here. And again, if you guys got any comments on those movies, go ahead and put it in there, put it down, and we can have a quick chat about it. But I'll try to get through those as quickly as possible. And let's take a look. And I need to slow down because one thing about me, I've noticed that if I'm doing a live stream by myself, it seems like I talk really fast. So I'm gonna try to slow down for give myself a heart attack. I'm gonna start right here with Dream Scenario or Scenario, depends on your dialect, your accent. And that's the Nicolas Cage movie where his character just shows up in everybody's dreams, and that was cool. 3.5 stars. I thought the end of it didn't quite work as well as the rest of it. It built up intrigue uh, uh, really well throughout the movie. I rewatched The Sadness, and because I'm a little sadistic, and my daughter enjoys really sadistic movies actually, so we watched The Sadness together. I showed it to her, and it was too much for her. Now she's in college, as a lot of you have heard me say, so I'm not showing this to a child. She's 21 years old. But she said that was a bit much for her, and usually the things she shows me are a bit much for me. So that was interesting. Pain Hustlers I'm not sure if it is a Netflix movie or was just on Netflix, but I thought it was pretty good. Where basically a bunch of people are taking advantage of some loopholes in the pharmaceutical industry and making a bunch of money. And you know how it is when you start messing with loopholes, you eventually just go straight illegal with things, and that's what this movie's all about. And I thought that was really cool. 3.5 stars for Pain Hustlers. The Kill Room, and oh, okay, yeah, this is that movie. Okay, with Samuel L. Jackson. It's funny when you watch a movie. Then I'm sure Rich, if he's still there, can attest to this. Sometimes movies run together when you're watching so many movies. And for me, a movie a day is a bit high, uh, generally, and that's what I've been averaging so far this year. But generally, I'm a 4 to 5 movie a week person, not a 7 to 8 week, and that's where I've been most of this year. And this one was cool. A hitman is boss, an art dealer, and they're on a money laundering scheme, basically, in the art industry. And this guy, he's the hitman, and he turns artists as part of this scheme, and then discovers love for art. And it's cool. It's cool. Let's just leave it at that. So 3 stars for Kill Room. Spaceman, and this was the Adam Sandler movie. Uh, I'm pro Adam Sandler drama, so I'm gonna just get that out of the way. I'm pro Sandler when it comes to drama, pretty anti Sandler when it comes to his comedies lately, and this follows that trend. 3.5 stars for me on Spaceman. This is also a Netflix movie, so yeah, check that one out. I really enjoyed that one. He's on a mission traveling through space, and he's away from his wife. I mean, it's got some loopholes in it, of course, but not loopholes, plot holes in it. but the movie still works. So I enjoyed Spaceman. I also watched Star Wars. I went back to the OG Star Wars. I was going to go back through the entire series. I was going to try to get it done before May the 4th. As you can see, I watched The Empire Strikes Back right after it. Both five-star movies for me. And then I stopped because I had other responsibilities and other movies that I had to watch for other things. And so it just didn't work out. So I'm going to try it again, and probably early next year, close of this year, I may start running through those movies again. So if I watch it again this year, no biggie. TLC Forever, the documentary about TLC, one of the greatest girl groups of all time. And the doc is three stars for me. It's because it was okay. If you know about TLC, if you know about this story, this is just rehashing the same stuff. So, but it did it in an okay manner, so which gives it 3 stars, and I could even drop it to 2.5 because I didn't learn much from this. But if you don't know much about TLC and you only know the music, this is probably a much better doc for you. Monkey Man, 3.5 stars for me on Monkey Man. I had a good time with that. Some issues with the story as it went on, but it was still pretty good. Next, Rebel Moon Part Two, the Scar Giver, excuse me, 3 stars, which I think is better than the first part, but neither one is blowing my socks off. And I only really watched Part Two because my wife and I were looking for something to watch together, and she really likes action movies. I like action movies too, so that was a pretty safe bet. And this is a movie called What Jennifer Did. And I'm giving away a little bit because we're going to talk about this movie on By the Numbers when I go on Dave and Rich's channel. And I usually have 3 stars here. So I'm not going to say much more about that. I'll let you come over to their channel and get my full thoughts and a breakdown of the score as we do on their channel. And I'm going to come back and see if anybody has seen any of these or has anything to say about any of these. And Adrian is talking about the battles. He says, I would like to see the battles come back. I still miss them. I mean, that was a fun time, and so many people that I watch on YouTube now and are in the chat here today, or that watch me. So many of us got our start because we just started hanging around watching the movie battles and got to talking back and forth with one another and encouraging one another, and especially getting encouragement from D-Ray. And much shout outs to him. He's responsible for so many channels just starting. And it sometimes it saddens me a little bit that his channel doesn't get as much support as it should. Uh, and it's all tied up in the battles. It's a gift and a curse. He gave us a great, 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 great thing, but when he's not giving us that exact thing, he doesn't get the same support. But he should. Now, he had a great video the other day. He lives not far from me, actually, and he went to a car show that's like 10 minutes from my house, and I was running around doing errands that day. This was Saturday. I was running around doing errands, and I didn't see him, but I saw the cars like running up and down the street because I was in that area, and I was like, "Oh, that's today," and I totally forgot. But I do want to get out there one day, and hopefully I can connect with him, and we can hang out a little bit. Uh, Gizmo's here. What's going on, Giz? And Giz is hilarious. He's got a great channel and very hilarious when he shows up in other people's chat. So I love to see it. And again, we got more people just kind of saying hi to each other. The Sadness is getting a 4K, but I believe I think it is. I think I did see that. I probably won't buy that. I may if I come across it cheap, I'll buy it, but I'm not real sure. And I'm not pressed to get it. Let me put it that way. Let me put it that way. And Giz says, is Dell talking about the Mighty P King Man? Still not. I still haven't seen it. I gotta watch it, Giz. I gotta watch it. So yeah, it's in this set right here. It's matter of fact, you've put something on my watch list for the next week and a half or so, and I'll be off of work. I'll have less responsibility next week. So hold me to it. I'm gonna watch Mighty P King Man by the next movie swap. Let's put it that way, which should be next week. So I'm gonna take it upon myself to make sure that gets watched. James is here. So what's going on, James? It's congrats on 2 years. Always enjoy hearing your thoughts on film and other stuff. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. And for a lot of us, James is the Criterion master. I don't know how many he has, but he's got multiple times of whatever I have. I have just about 50 movies from Criterion. So if James, if you're still here, I want you to tell me how many you have. Tell us how many you have, but use a multiplier. So don't tell me like if you have 100, don't just say 100. I want you to say times two. So or times three if it's 150, so on and so forth. If you know, just as close as you can get it. Doesn't have to be an exact number. It's just something that popped into my head to do right now. And if you don't want to do it, that's cool. I get it. Giz, Sadness been out on 4K for over a year. Yeah, and was released last month in America. That's what it was that I saw. Released last month in America. Okay. As well on 4K. Okay. That's what I saw. Because I was like, man, I know I've been seeing that lately. Steve Moody is here. What's going on, Steve? And he says, hey, Steve. I shout him out again. He donated a big box of movies to the channel. Some of those are Criterion, since we're talking about Criterion. Some of those are Criterion. Some of those are just 4Ks and Blu-rays of other things. And I'm gonna do a bigger actual physical giveaways for those on the channel here within the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And we're gonna thank him for that. And Caveman says dream scenario, the way we've pronounced scenario based on how many bourbons you have had. That's fair. That's fair, though. I think you add more syllables the more bourbons you had, because it could be like scenario. So it could get real interesting. Um, Cal, I know Cal understands this in the chat, and some of you might also. Tribe Called Quest. My favorite Tribe Called Quest song is Scenario. Well, one of my favorites, not my favorite. One of my favorite Tribe Called Quest songs is Scenario. That is the song most responsible for making Busta Rhymes a huge superstar. He was not a part of a Tribe Called Quest, but he was on that song with his whole group, Leaders of the New School, and never looked back. He just completely blew up after that. He was definitely the man in his group, and when it came time to go solo, he showed and proved why he's still around. That was early 90s when that came out. So much respect to my man Busta Rhymes. What's your favorite superhero movie all time? I'm gonna put a pin in that one and come back to it. Adrian also. We're gonna get to that on the Q&A side of it. Monkey Dream Scenario, everyone hates it because where I see it being sold to the extent of putting it in different gaps in the aisle and cramming it in, knowing it's hated so much they don't mind crunch covers. So do you mean okay? I'm a little confused by this post, Monkey. So help clarify it if you can for me. Because do you mean people are hating on the movie? Because I thought a lot of people really like this movie, from what I understand. Or have you just been seeing it in stores, just all kind of messed up on the shelves? So yeah, clarify what you mean by that. I know at my Walmart, I actually bought a copy of it last week or 2 weeks ago. They had it on sale, brand new, $7.50. So I couldn't pass on it. I did not intend to buy a movie when I went in the Walmart that day. You know how it is. You walk by that section, you stop, you start looking, and there it was, $7.50. I was like, oh wait, I gotta grab that. So I did. Uh got lots of highs back and forth and facts. I don't even remember which facts I said, but thank you. I appreciate it. Cody is here. What's going on, Cody? He says congratulations. So, Cody, I'm looking for it. I'm not gonna tell you to say it, but I'm looking for it. You know what I'm looking for. All right. Monkey, they cram it in everywhere. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, they cram it in everywhere. That makes sense. I get it. All right. And here he says it's the one film every copy is rage crammed, crunching the cover. If you buy them at Walmart, there's no telling what they do before they get them on shelves. I mean, they just like any big box store, any retail store these days. Most of the workers there don't give a crap about physical media, so they just take it and shove it wherever it goes, and however it looks, be damned. you know how you know. So I get it. I understand. I do. So let's go ahead and see if we can get through. That was April. Let's see if we can get through May for these next few movies. And we started with Untold Operation Flagrant Foul. If you're basketball fans, NBA Finals are going on tonight. I After this is over, I hope they're still going. If not, I'll catch game two between the Mavericks and the Celtics. But this is about a scandal that happened in the 90s, if I remember correctly. A referee uh, was caught basically gambling on games and making calls to somewhat fix the games that he was refereeing, and then it's possibly was a more widespread thing that he was scapegoated for. At least that's his position, and other referees and the NBA themselves kind of distanced themselves from him. It's a really interesting documentary. 3.5 stars for me on that one. And I mentioned that I talked about that mostly because the NBA Finals are tonight. So if you're a basketball fan, if you're of age, you remember when this happened. If not, yeah, it actually happened. And so when people say the NBA is fixed, these are the kinds of things that they're talking about. I don't think the NBA is actually fixes the games. Like, this team is definitely going to win, but they do what they can to make sure bigger market teams or more popular players advance. They do what they can. I'm just saying that's what it appears to be. So Adam Silver, don't hunt me down or anything. He's NBA commissioner, if anybody doesn't know. Outlaw Johnny Black. This was basically a follow up to Black Dynamite. Michael Jai White is the star here, and it's not as good as Black Dynamite, but it's better than a lot of people are saying or thinking. I got it at 3.5. For me, um, yeah, it was just hilarious to me in a lot of spots. What didn't quite work, and what a lot of people missed, is that this is also a parody of 70s black movies. There is a subgenre of black exploitation, of so-called black exploitation movies that were westerns, and this is what that is a spoof of. So if you know those movies, then obviously you're going to get more of the jokes. Strays, the crazy dog movie, the dog's cussing is what I call it. It's funny in spots, but it wears on you because it gets repetitive. The jokes do. It's just a lot of dick jokes, and yeah, dick jokes are funny sometimes. But if you hear 80 of them in a row, by the time you get to around 50 of them, it's like another one. He said dick and balls. Okay, and that's the kind of thing. It's diminishing returns. Really funny at the start, and then kind of tapers off because they're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Argyle. I enjoyed Argyle. 3.5. A lot of people seem to not have enjoyed Argyle. I don't think it was a best movie in the world or anything, but I did have fun with it. Unfrosted was the next movie I watched, and we've been getting a lot of product movies lately. This one's about Pop Tarts, and a lot of people hated on this. I didn't hate it. It was fine. 3 stars for Unfrosted. It's cool. uh a dark song. I did not put a grade on a dark song. There was what's the reason I didn't put I'm trying to think of the reason why I didn't. Oh no, I know I didn't because this was the movie Patrick had me watch for our movie swap, and I didn't want to give it away in case he was looking at my letterbox. uh but overall, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Him talking me through it during that movie swap helped his case, of course. And the movie I had him watch was The Belko Experiment, and I really liked that movie. 4 stars there. Then I rewatched Rise of the Planet of the Apes because the new one was coming out, so I watched Rise, and then I watched Dawn. I had a great time with that. Some things happened, and I didn't get to War just yet, but I did watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, the new one. I'll talk a little bit about that one. The weakest of the newer Apes movies for me. I still liked it, 3.5. It just could have been a little bit stronger. It dragged a lot. The pacing was just off. And our new protagonist, they weren't sure if they wanted to remake him as Caesar or make him his own thing. So they kind of with that. It even made him look like Caesar, and it suffered in spots from it, but other things worked out pretty well. So yeah, 3.5 for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I had some company over on this day. I remember that because we watched John Wick Chapter 4. Was that Mother's Day? Yeah, that's Mother's Day. And yeah, my wife loves action, and everybody that came to my house loves action. So I just grabbed that off the shelf and threw it in because that was a pretty safe bet. The Contestant. And this one was this a short? No, this is a full length movie. This one, let me see. Incredible Journey. Oh yeah, okay. This movie, this is not. It was a documentary my daughter showed me. The same daughter that I talked about for the sadness. So this guy, he applied to be on a reality show, and he got the job. And the gig was kind of like like Truman Show. He was the only person in the room, but the deal was you were going to be in this room with nothing. They gave him nothing. And took his clothing and had a camera there, and he had to win everything, any possessions. Okay, so all he had was this one room apartment. Basically, it was a really small apartment. Um, so he had to win everything. He had to win clothes. He had to win food. I mean, they gave him like some enough to survive in the beginning, but he was losing crazy amounts of weight and anything else he could get his hands on. And the deal was he had to stay in this room for as long as it took him to win, I think, $1 million worth of prizes. And it took like a year and some change. And then they pulled a twist on him and made him do some more. It's wild. And it's wild. I would say I might even go up to 4 stars on that eventually. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Um, Let me see one or two more, and then we'll get back to you guys. When Evil Lurks, really good horror movie. I'm like a lot of other people. I'm calling this one of the top horror movies of the year so far. Honestly, I think I'm going to rewatch it and see if it goes up in my estimation. And then Lola. Lola was another movie that was really interesting. Um, she was trying to, as it says here, she was trying to work to save enough money to get her beloved little brother out of their toxic home until one tragic night when her whole world gets uprooted. I won't spoil that, but it is a fun, not fun, but interesting movie. 3.5 for me, and we will put a pin in it right at Lola. I'm just going to leave that for the time being, and see what you guys are talking about. And yeah, I'm trying to get through these pretty quickly so that we're not all here all night talking about those movies. The Monkey Correct, yes. We're talking about Dream Scenario and all of that stuff. Pete Rose shit, yeah, yeah, Cal. Pete Rose shit for real. He's talking about the referee gambling. Yep. Uh, Maybe a little worse because Pete Rose, he could put who was going to play in the game, but he couldn't make calls, right? He couldn't call strikes. He couldn't call fair and foul, and he couldn't decide if somebody was safe or out. Here the referee's calling travels, or he'll call palming, or he'll call fouls any way he sees fit to try to help his case. And yeah, Cal says, no way some games are going 7 games. Yep. Anthony's here. What's going on, Anthony? He says, what's up? Congrats on the 2 years. Thank you. Appreciate it. Steve Mayers, what's going on, Steve? Says greetings, Dell and Flick friends. Happy 2 year anniversary, bro. Thank you. And Giz, the woman in Mighty Peking is the most beautiful woman ever on screen. Wow, that's those big words right there. So now I really got to see it. You get every animal on planet Earth in the film, plus King Kong. What's not to love? Giz, I know you do a lot of B movies. I'm curious to know if you've seen Queen Kong. I watched that on, I think, Tubi one night. It's wild. It is a wild movie called, yeah, and it's really called Queen Kong. And yeah, she has nipples, and to just so you know, it's a girl gorilla, I guess. Does the Outlaw movie got a physical release? Oh, I don't know. If anybody else knows, tell us out there. I am not sure. Three the Hard Way, anybody? Yes, I've seen Three the Hard Way a few times. I need to get my hands on it. I don't know if it's come to Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure. I know there's a DVD. I'm not sure if it's come to Blu-ray, but I do want to get my hands on it. Jim Kelly's my guy, and he's hashtag pause. All right, and Anthony arrived just in time for the dick joke talk. Yeah, so that's what we pausing about. That's what it is. Anthony saying what's up to everybody. This is that being nice. He didn't like that movie. He did that joint from his letterbox. Hey, sometimes you be nice. He says strays. the monkey the dog movie that makes watching cats and dogs so much better, as it's always that much better talking animal film. Um, Cats and Dogs, one of those movies I watched with my kids when they were little, and it was cool. And then we went and saw one of the sequels. I think it was the third one, and I hated every second of that. So no, not the best. Ken is here. What's going on, Ken? Happy anniversary. Feels like only yesterday you came out of the chat and comment section and onto our screens. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ken. And of course, go check out Mid Level Media if you're not already sub to him. I imagine everybody here is, because when I go in his chats, it's like 30 minutes before I can get my comment read, because you guys are all in there. So I'm happy to see it for Ken, though. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, except for me. But one day. Giz says, I have not had fun with a new produced movie for 5 months now. And the last time I saw a 10 out of 10 movie was in 2020. Ooh, before that was 2013. I am angry at the movies now. So Giz is a hard grader, because I have seen some 5-star movies in my estimations, or some 10s out of 10s. What was the movie in 2020? Let me know. I'm curious now. Yeah, everybody, Ant-Man is here. And people talking to Ken. And yeah, I said we about that action. Hey, that's what happens in this house. When we got a group gathering in the house. We got family coming over, and we want to watch a movie. I pick something with a lot of action, because anything else, that loses the crowd. A lot of times everybody's talking, doing their own thing anyway, but a few people will be drawn towards the screen when some action is going. Uh, Ken says, I need to know your top 5 Martin Lawrence movies in honor of Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm going to put a pin in it. And I know Ken's a busy guy. So if you're not here when I get back to that question, Ken, check the replay. I will try to answer that question. I'll try. All right. And it's people saying, what's up? All right. So let's go ahead and get back to these last few. Up Blue Streak. We got to vote for Blue Streak. Blue Streak is top 3 for sure. And what film franchises you've not seen any movies? Oh my god, there's probably a lot of them. So I'll have to check those. Giz, what Lola film? I seen 3. The new film is okay. That's the new one. Fun concept, sci-fi film traveling the future from the Two World War through TV signal to save the world from doomsday. Okay. And the Monkey Black Knight is my pick for number 1 Martin Lawrence film. We need a 4K now. That work of art that Paula Abdul choreographed. Paula Abdul is I had a crush on Paula Abdul back in the day, but so did a lot of people. So I don't think I'm alone in that. All right. So B movies. That's a D movie. Wait, Nips, that's an adult film right there. I talking about Queen Kong. Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty wild movie. Not seen Queen Kong, but heard of it. Big Nipple Kong. Trailer is on the Umbrella Exploitation trailer show. Okay. So you've seen the trailer for it, I'm guessing. Some of your favorite sitcoms. Definitely going to get back to that question. The man is here. Mega Mike here says, congratulations. What have been your favorite moments of YouTube so far? So I'm starting all these questions because I'm just going to get through my last few movies here, and then I'm going to go running down these questions list. And Giz says, Gunda was the film in 2020. I haven't seen that one. A documentary about a pig called Gunda, Russian director, shot on Norway in black and white. It is so incredible, beautiful, and sad. Okay, I'm going to put that one on my watch list. I've not heard of that one. So thank you for that. All right. So let's go ahead and finish out these last few movies. And then we're gonna get to all those questions, because I like the questions. All right. So after Lola, role play. And this one, yeah, I have my man Daniel Kaluuya. This is kind of a Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of situation, except he's not a spy. He just finds out that his wife is a spy, and his wife played by Kelly Cuoco from Big Bang Theory. And it's okay. It's got its moments. I think she was a little weak in the action part, and that kind of hurt the movie. And I think they relied heavily on stunt doubles and camera cuts and that kind of thing. And if you know me, I'm not big into throw a punch and barely see it because you cut 4 or 5 times. Um, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, not good. 2.5 stars. Didn't really care for it. Nanny, what was that? Also something I didn't care for. Oh, this was a horror movie. It had great premise, it just didn't carry it out and then dragged it out way too long. She's a woman, and I mentioned this movie more because I know fewer people are familiar with it. Like I know you all know what Frozen Empire is about. This movie here, this is a black woman. She's in America. She's working as a nanny, trying to get up some money to bring her son over. She's from Africa, and she has these haunting visions and dreams, and she's working for a white family. So we get some culture clash there, and I think it had the right idea. It just didn't do it well. Let me put it that way. Abigail, like a lot of you, I loved Abigail. 4 stars for me. I did go back and watch War for the Planet of the Apes. Eventually, 4 stars for me. My daughter had me watch the OG Matilda for the first time. I watched the remake a few months back or last year, whenever it came out. The first one I had never seen. This was a babysitter movie. I used to put it on and they used to watch it. My kids used to watch it. In turn, I showed her Toy Story 4 because she never watched Toy Story 4 because she's one of you crazy people who be like, oh, Toy Story 3, we don't need another one. That ended perfect. Yes, it did, but Toy Story 4 is still great, as you can see, in my opinion. Love Lies Bleeding, that was the movie I wasn't sure what to think about for a couple days. And this is the Kristen Stewart movie, the bodybuilding movie. She's not a bodybuilder, but her girlfriend in the movie is. And yeah, it's wild. And 4 stars is where I wound up on it. And I may go up on that because it was just that crazy. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Everybody in this part of the community seems to be loving that movie. I was bored by a lot of it. It just dragged and dragged and dragged. And then the other thing that really bothered me was I was looking for these Fury Road esque action sequences, and I get it, it's not the same movie, but these action sequences in this movie was so sparse. If I watched Fury Road, as you see, a few days before, and there's something filling the screen every second. I mean, everywhere you look on the screen, something's happening, right? It's not just the vehicles chasing each other. There's something going on. Well, in this movie, it's really just the vehicles chasing each other, and you get one or two things happening. So even the action sequences, even though there were a lot of them, really didn't snap me out of it. So not a favorite of mine. Next movie was The Marijuana Conspiracy. This is another movie that had a great premise. It's actually based on a true story. A lot of people watched the Stanford Experiment a year or two ago on Netflix or something, and that one was based on a true story also, where they had people, college kids, they half of them they made prison guards and half of them they made prisoners, and even though it was in a dorm, they set the dynamics, and that was really well done as a movie when they translated it to that. This was a similar situation where the government paid for a study of marijuana where they had all these women, so it was really a study of marijuana on women, and they had all these women, and they had two groups. They had one group that was given marijuana twice a day. They had to smoke twice a day, and the other group which didn't smoke at all. And then just seeing the effects on it. And this was another movie that's kind of got boring and dragged, and the story never really came together. And it was one of those true stories where the best parts of the movie they told you after it ended. When it gets to what everybody was doing. So I was like, man, y'all left out the best parts. So yeah, 2.5 on The Marijuana Conspiracy. Iron Claw, I finally got to watch. This was one of those nights where I just couldn't sleep. I got up pretty early and then put it on, and I really had a good time with it. 4 stars. I wasn't sure because I know everybody loved it, and everybody talks about how inspirational it is, and I'm not sure I get that because it's kind of dark all the way through the movie, but it is really good though. Bruiser, and was a Bruiser's I just watched this the other night. Bruiser's is not the other night, but last week. This little boy here, and I'm gonna go to the next screen. He's a teenager, and this is his actual dad. And if you're not sure who that is, if you can see, I'm just coming down to the name because I've never remember his name. This is Trevante Rhodes from Moonlight. He's got dreads in here, and he's actually really good in this movie. But he's this guy. He's this young guy's actual birth father, Darius. However, Darius is living with his mom and stepdad, who basically raised him because my guy here wasn't ready to be a dad and was immature and was getting in trouble and in the streets and was in jail. That kind of story. But he's back in a relationship with his son. He's turned his life around. Um, at least that's what we think. And we find out some things not only about him but about his stepdad. And it's a really interesting story. This is one of those ones, another one where I could say, you know what, this might eventually get a full fourth star at some point. Um, it really flew under the radar. I had never heard of it. Excuse me, guys, but I had never heard of it, and I really enjoyed it. So I would say check out Bruiser and let me know what you guys think. And then the last movie I actually watched is Sleeping with Other People. And I will let the cat out of the bag that this is one of the movies that I'm going to watch for that movie swap with Rich and Dave. But I'm not going to say what I think of it. So I'm going to leave it just at that. And that is the end of May. I do have a few movies that I've already watched um, in June, including Murder in the First, which is another movie I'm going to put on that movie swap, but I'm not talking about those. And I'll save that stuff for the June video at the end of June or beginning of July, however that works. And let's see if we got any more comments about those movies, and then I'm going to run back through these questions. Anthony says Bad Boys 2 is my favorite Bad Boys film, but I haven't seen the new one yet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I was really surprised by Bad Boys for Life, the third movie. I didn't. That was one of those movies that came out so long after part two. I was like, I don't know about this, but it did the job. Have Cheetah Will View, aka Patrick, is here. Greetings. What's going on, Patrick? I talked a little bit about the movies that we watched for Movie Swap. If you didn't catch that, Kenny Sparks is here. What's going on, Kenny? Another friend of the channel. We kind of discovered each other over the last 2-3 months. And we've been supporting each other's channels ever since, maybe a little bit longer. He says, congrats. Thank you very much. We just got some people saying, hey, back and forth. Giz. I saw Wu-Tang Clan live in 2002. Really fun concert. I was into their kung fu videos back in the days. I did not know they used clips from real films before or later. Yeah, a lot of music came from actual martial arts movies. And that's one of the things that drew me in because I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. So that's one of the things that drew me in. I've never got to see them live though. So good for you. Um, I still do want to see that one of these days. Pat says, congrats. Thank you. Smirk is here. What's going on? It says, congrats on the 2 years. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Kenny, I loved Love Lies Bleeding. Yeah, it was really good. It was, and it got wild in that third act for sure. It was wild all the way through, but that third act got nuts. All right. Uh, I'm sure you can agree to that one. Mike just saying what's up to some people. All right. I'm really just scrolling through, see if there's any more comments about about the movies. Pat's been on me about this from the coffee table. I am going to see it. I'm definitely going to see it because so many people are talking about it. So by the time you and I get together again, I will have seen it more than likely. Monkey Frozen Empire is so bad they hired an Eternal to play a man child for just for one action scene at the end. Wanted the mother to not make it. To think she fires Phoebe from being a Ghostbuster in 2 films. Yeah, and I liked Afterlife, so I'll give that one a pass. This one, it just didn't work for me. This was another one. The pacing was a little bit off, and there wasn't much ghost busting in it. But I think there was just too many characters. There were too many characters in this movie. We didn't need everybody that's ever been in a Ghostbusters movie to show up and then try to get their little moment in the sun. It was overload. And some of them just, there's a lot of people talking about Bill Murray just kind of showing up, sleepwalking in and saying a few lines. I didn't think he was that bad, but he wasn't memorable. That's for sure. And I think if they just stuck with the Phoebe storyline and just her dynamics with just the family, that would work okay. Um, but adding in all that other stuff, it was too much, and it is not enough movie to handle it. Uh, Gives Furiosa 6 out of 10. Yeah, you're slightly higher than me, but we're in the same boat pretty much. Uh, Kingdom of Sasquatch, what am I doing here? 6 of 10. Sunset, 6 of 10. Winnie the Poop 2, 6 of 10. So are we talking about Blood and Honey for 6 of 10 for that one? Snack Shack, 6 of 10. Monkey Man, 6 of 10. A lot of sixes. Monkey Man, I might go 7. Abigail, 5 of 10. Wow, low on that one. I really enjoyed Abigail, and it was just fun. I get it. There was some weaknesses in the story, especially it kind of fell apart in that third act story wise, but I still had a great time watching it. Fall Guy, 5 of 10. Haven't seen that one yet. The First Omen, 5 of 10. Haven't seen that one yet. Hopefully, I'll watch that one soon. Love Lies Bleeding, 5 of 10. Wow. Another one I really enjoyed. But you know what? Actually, I'm not surprised because that's one of those movies that I can see people loving or hating. So I'm not surprised with that. Immaculate, 6 of 10. I still need to see Immaculate. I haven't seen that one yet. See, Pat says Sleeping with Other People is awesome. IFC Films did that film. Pat is a huge IFC Films fan. For anybody who doesn't know, more grades from Giz. Civil War, 4 of 10. Lisa Frankenstein, 2 of 10. Challengers, 2 of 10. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, 2 of 10. Handling the Undead, 2 of 10. Some of my films I've seen from 2024 rated. That's a rough go if we're giving grades that low. I've heard a lot of good things about Civil War and Lisa Frankenstein. Polarizing things really about Civil War. I haven't seen either. Challengers, also polarizing. I've heard some people really love it and some people really hate it. Honestly, I think a lot of people who seem to love it seem to be Zendaya fans. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth, right? Congratulations. Thank you very much. Is this my guy KG? He's glad to see you're still. Yes, KG is my guy. He is in South Africa, if I remember correctly. We became blogging buddies. We used to. I used to have a blog where I wrote reviews, and I did that for a long time. Actually, probably almost a decade. And last few years, KG uh, started doing it, started blogging, and him and I kind of connected, and we did some things with each other on each other's blogs. And so I'm really happy to see him out here. Thank you so much for coming out. Kira is here. What's going on, Kira? She says, "Congrats, thank you." That's one half of Double Feature Podcast. And she says, "Hey everyone." Sarah is here. She says, "Hey, Sarah." And there's the other half. Mika says, "Congrats on 2 years." Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Sarah congratulates me also. Thank you. We're going to get into some questions here in just a second. Mika and I'm assuming Kira because they tend to both share opinions on movies a lot. She said she really enjoyed Lisa Frankenstein. All right. Cool. All right. So now on my end, from a little behind the scenes, is I'm scrolling all the way back up to the top, and I'm gonna find these questions that you guys asked me, and so that we can actually get to that part. You know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and give away something right off the bat. Let's give away a digital code, and all that life intervene stuff is why I don't have this on the screen. If anybody's just getting here, I was like a half hour late for the stream. So my plan was, because I was still putting things together, to just have it pop up on the screen. Didn't do that, but here is I got the 4K steelbook of The Crow. I'm not going to use a digital code, so I am really it's just going to be a first come first serve kind of thing. If you would like this, go for it. Just let me know if you claimed it so that other people can stop trying to. And I'm going to get it close to the camera as I can. So I'll leave it up for another couple of seconds. I'm looking forward to the new Crow. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to see what they do with it. Let me know if you guys are curious about the new version of the Crow coming out. I've heard some people are really looking forward to it, and some people are really nervous and don't think it's going to be any good. So I'm curious what you guys think, and I'm gonna set it down now. Yeah, if anybody claims that code, go ahead and let the chat know so that they can stop trying to get it. We don't want anybody wasting a bunch of time doing that if you've already got it. All right. So let's get to some of these questions. So there was some good ones here. So I'm looking forward to some. All right. First question that I remember that I saw, I went back through. Cal said, 2 years in, what have you learned, and has your time turned you into a Sith? Have I become a Jedi or a Sith? Honestly, I think I'm still a Padawan at this point. I look at some of the people who started around the same time I have, and a lot of them have gone beyond what I've done as far as a following and subscriber you count and all those things. And I'm really happy for them. And coming from a sales background, because I used to do sales, um, one thing I realized is that if you're not selling, or one thing that was told to me 1,000 times while I was in sales is, and I was not a great salesman, that if you're not selling, is generally something about you that's not working, not the customer. Okay, the customer is going to buy or not based on how they feel about you. Well, in translating that to YouTube, it's pretty much, your channel is going to take off or not based on you. And not to say that I have a bad personality or anything, but I haven't found what makes some other channels click. I haven't found a thing that's going to blow up my channel. So I'm still looking for that. So I'm going to say I'm still a Padawan. I'm still learning. Um, if at some point this may become my villain origin story and I may become a Sith, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully not. Hopefully I'll stay away from the dark side, um, and become a Jedi one of these days. And yeah, but all congrats to all those people though who did come in around my time and are doing great things with their channels. And I really enjoy watching you guys. So I still watch you guys. I don't comment as much as I used to back in the day. There's just so many people that I'm watching now and following, and a lot of times I'm wind up watching it on my TV, so I don't really comment. I'll leave a like, but I don't really uh, comment as much. All right, Adrian James says, "What's your favorite superhero movie of all time?" And for that, I'm gonna put The Crow back. The Crow though is high up on my list, but it's not my favorite. And I'm gonna come over here and bang the mic, why don't I? And I'm gonna go with that one right there, which is The Dark Knight. Let me put it back up in case anybody missed it. But yeah, The Dark Knight is my favorite superhero movie of all time. Infinity War is a pretty close second. Um, but yeah, being a huge Batman fan, that kind of gets it over the edge. But storytelling wise, I think it's really, really good. And it's one of those stories where we're not 100. Well, I am, but a lot of people are not 100% sure who wins. Um, and I'm gonna spoil it from well, kind of spoil it. The Joker, Heath Ledger's performance as Joker is amazing. Still the best one out there, even though Joaquin Phoenix did his thing. Um, but the Joker, he technically doesn't win because I mean he's caught by Batman, and but the things that he causes Batman to do and go through from the moment he's caught is what gives Joker a victory actually. And I really enjoy how they set that up and the implications of that and leading us into The Dark Knight Rises, which was a disappointment, but that's a conversation for another day. If Mega Mike is still here, he's cringing, I'm sure, because that's his favorite superhero movie of all time. So one of these days we're gonna have it out. When I get Mike on his channel, we're gonna have it out about Dark Knight Rises. So just be on the lookout for that. Hopefully that'll be soon, actually, because I've been saying it. I'm going to get him on forever. So, Mike, if you're still here, yeah, an invite is coming pretty quickly. I've been on Mike's channel several times, so it's only right that he's on mine. All right, next question up from Ken. I need to know your top 5 Martin Lawrence movies in honor of Bad Boys Ride or Die. Okay, so for me, I'm gonna probably say Bad Boys 2 would be my number one Martin Lawrence movie. Bad Boys 2. No, you know what? I take that back. House Party would be my number one Martin Lawrence movie. I grew up on that movie. That is just, top tier for me. One of the best hip hop movies ever made. So House Party would probably be my one. Bad Boys 2 would probably be my two. I did like Blue Street Cow, but not quite top three. I don't think because I would go thin line between love and hate. That would probably be my three. Four would probably be the ooh. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna put the OG Bad Boys and then Bad Boys for Life tied for that fourth spot. And what would I put fifth? Would I put Blue Streak there? Uh man. I'd probably put Blue Streak there. Blue Streak will probably be my fifth. And that's just because I'm not trying to I can't think of all of them off the top of my head. And oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Cal. Blue Streak can't go there. And the two Bad Boys movies, I'm dropping those down to five. I'm dropping Thin Line down to four. I'm dropping Bad Boys 2 down to three. And I'm gonna put Life at number two. Life with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, that's gonna be my number two. So yeah, I'm sorry, Cal. That's just what it is. Ken. So what we're working with, Ken, is number one top spot, House Party, Life at number two, Bad Boys 2 at number three, the OG Bad Boys and Bad Boys for Life tied at number four. And then number five, I just that fast. Oh, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. All right. So that's what we're doing. Or I might have flip flopped the last two, but you get the idea. All right. So thank you for that one. That was a tough one. I never thought about my top five Martin Lawrence movies because I'm not a huge fan of all his movies. Some I like, some I don't. All right, Adrian, what film franchises you've not seen any movies? Right off the top of my head, uh, Hellraiser. I've never seen a Hellraiser movie. I've seen pieces of one or two of them. I've never seen a Hellraiser movie. That's the one that really comes to mind. So I do need to fix that. I got to see some Hellraiser movies. Everybody swears by them. Anything else that I've not seen that I can think of? Mm, most franchises I've seen at least one or two of it. If this had at least three movies, I've probably seen one most of them. At least if they're well known. If there's something kind of underground, then maybe not, or kind of cult following kind of thing. Um, but yeah, that's the big one that I would say I've not seen any. They're actually horror ones, and actually a big horror fan. Any of the Grudge movies. Um, yeah, that's yeah. I think that's it. I just saw my first, not the first Omen, but I saw the original Omen for the first time last year. So, and I want to run through the whole franchise before I watch the first Omen. So hopefully I'll do that pretty soon. But yeah, I would say the big one is Hellraiser, though. That's a film franchise that I've not seen any of. I'm taking just a look behind me just to see if there's anything that jumps out at me because I'm a collector, so we have movies that we've not seen anything, not seen at all, but none that I can see. Yeah, none that I can think of. So yeah, that's the big one for me. Let's see the next question. So yeah, in case you hadn't noticed, yeah, that means that it is definitely Q&A time, and go ahead and send in your questions. So as I get to the bottom of the stream, I will see more. And next question up is from Anthony. What are some of your favorite sitcoms? All right. So for sitcoms, I'm gonna stick with live action because one of mine well, you know what? I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna go right out the gate. My favorite sitcom is an animated one, probably is the Boondocks. And I, everything about that series, especially the first two seasons, are just amazing to me. They speak to me on so many levels. Huey and is a kid a lot like I was as a kid. Um, but as I was telling a friend of mine one day because we were talking about the Boondocks, I like Huey more. Like I would want to be more like Huey, but Raleigh is the person that most of us will probably hang out with. And if you don't know the Boondocks, if anybody out there doesn't know the Boondocks, it's two kids. Their parents have died and left them with their grandfather and left some money. So granddad bought a house Pops, he's called. He bought a house out in the suburbs, so these are hood kids. So they move out to the suburbs, and these are their experiences there. And this is a lot. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, that'll be my top one. Every everyone, everybody hates Chris. Sorry, that would be my next one. And for similar reasons, it's just I relate to it so well. I relate to most of most of the storylines that they come up with. I just relate to them. So it's a lot of time like looking back at my childhood or the childhood of my friends who I hung out with back then. Um, so that would be another one. One that a lot of people don't expect me to say unless you've already heard me say it before is the Honeymooners. I used to watch the Honeymooners every night on 11 o'clock. That's just that was just my favorite show at that time. That was my number one show. Ralph Cramden, he was my guy, and yeah, he made a lot of harsh jokes that some people watch and now be like, oh, you can't say those kinds of things to your wife, and I understand it was a different time, but at the same time, um, there was so much chemistry and heart between him and his wife Alice. So and even as a kid, I just loved watching that show. So Honeymooners would be my third. Cheers would probably be four for me. uh Cheers, it's weird because that's a show I really couldn't relate to as a kid, except it was just so funny, and I really did like it. As I got older, I could relate to more of it as I became an adult. But yeah, I just watched Cheers every week. And for that fifth spot, if we're doing top fives, by the way, um I'm just gonna name a few that could be in that spot. The Cosby Show, it was a watershed moment really for black entertainment in both good and bad ways. And I'm just talking about the show itself, not necessarily Bill Cosby and all the things that came after. But just for the show itself, it was a watershed moment, both in good and bad ways. And a lot of your favorite shows that came after that, My Wife and Kids, uh, I think Family Matters, My Wife and Kids, uh, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, a lot of these shows would not exist without the Cosby Show, and of course, A Different World, which is another show that could go on that list for me. I'm not a fan of Family Matters. My Wife and Kids was okay. Um, Night Court, the original Night Court. I've watched like 1, 2 episodes of the new one. It was okay, but the OG Night Court, I really loved that one. Could go up there. Um, Man, I used to Family Ties. I used to watch Family Ties all the time. Recent sitcoms, I'm like a lot of nerds. Big Bang Theory, I really like. Modern Family, I really like. That's also good. Not a lot of sitcoms that I like that have come out in the last 2, 3, 4 years. I think they're kind of going away from TV, or at least being the least the lowest in quality as far as TV shows goes. Because TV series now are these long dramatic things, and they may have some comedy in them, but generally the best ones are not comedies anymore. So yeah, those are some of my favorite sitcoms. Here's Mega Mike's question. Mike says, "Congratulations. What have been your favorite moments of YouTube so far?" My favorite moments are really, I'm going to just go back to what this was supposed to be. This was tonight supposed to be an episode of Movie Swap, and for my channel, that's been my favorite thing because I get to interact with other people uh, directly about a pair of movies, and then I get to interact with you guys in the chat talking about those movies and you guys talking to each other. So for my channel, that's been my favorite thing that's been going on. Other things is just I love going on other people's channels and talking to them about movies because that's just why I got into this, is to talk to people about movies. I do haul videos and that kind of thing because it's almost like an obligation. It's kind of what you have to do. And yeah, we all we like buying things and go, oh, look what I got. But my best moments are just any of those moments I'm getting to interact with people on this platform, whether it's on my channel or somebody else's channel. And like the other night, I was on Bob's channel, Bob Blu-rays. Shout out to Bob. And he had me just going crazy because we played a game called Hot Potato. He's been doing a lot of games lately. And by the end of the night, I was just sweating like a pig and had movies just all over the floor. But I had a big blast doing that. And let's see the next question. was. And by the way, while I'm looking for that question, thank you for everybody who stuck it out with me, even though I was so late getting on the stream. So I appreciate it 1,000%. Um, Thank you for those who are still here. I'm looking, we got a little more than a dozen. We got 15, just popped in about 15 here, at least on my end that I can see. So I appreciate all 15 of you and anybody who decides to come in and watch on a live stream. I appreciate that. And this is not a question. At least I don't think it's a question, but yes, it's yeah, man. It is KG. Had to give the blogging a break. Yeah, I haven't blogged in years now. This is trying to pursue a master, so no time for movies, but glad to see you've changed things up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good luck on your masters. If you're still around, let me know what you're getting a master's in, just because I'm curious or nosy, however you want to frame it. But yeah, it is so good to see you and hear from you. And I'm glad to know that you're doing well. And I guess this is where we left off because now I'm getting into some comments that I don't think I've seen. Kira is such a cool name. Yes, my dog that passed away had the name Kira. I'm sorry that your dog passed away. And the response is looking forward to there we go. Looking forward to the remake of The Crow. It will be interesting to see what they do with it. And that's where I am. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I tell people I'm um, uh, cautiously optimistic, meaning I'm not expecting a world beater, but I just think they can still make a good movie. Here's my guy here, Big Chris, aka Floyd House Flicks. He says, "Congrats, my brother. Keep up the amazing work. You are definitely appreciated. Thank you very much." Um, he actually sent me a package earlier this week, and I haven't even opened it. And you know what? I'm gonna step away and grab it since I'm here. You can guys look at all the amazing stuff that I have behind me for like 30 seconds to a minute. I'll be right back. All right. So Mr. Floyd and I, we had an exchange. Um let's go back to that box that Steve Moody gave me, and I made a video showing everything that was in the video. And I noted in the video that hey, some of these I have, some of these I don't need or don't want, and I'm going to be giving some away. And that's what I talked to you earlier about with some of the movies I'm going to give away in the next couple of weeks. uh Big Floyd, I'm gonna make you ineligible for those. Let somebody else get some. And he saw something in the video, and he was like, "Hey, you mind if I get that?" I said, "Sure." And I actually gave him a couple of movies, and I'm opening now. If you hear it, and he said, "What do I owe you?" I was like, "Nah, you don't owe me anything." And he kept, I gotta get you some. I gotta get you some. So I said, "Well, I do have an Amazon wish list. I'll put that because hey, I got a birthday coming soon. But I'll put that in the I'll put that in the description." And he said, "I said you can get something off of there." And I don't know if he didn't get it directly off of there, but I just opened it and I do see what he got me. So this is something I was definitely looking for. It is Evil Dead Rise, and it has got a. I'm not a slipcover guy, but this slipcover is in immaculate shape that I'm gonna ruin just by sliding it on my shelf. And not that I'm trying to, but that's what happens. That's just what happens. There's the without the slip, and yeah, slips versus steel books. Let me know what you guys think about that. But yeah, really appreciate this, my man. And I have seen this movie. It is a fun bloodbath of a movie. Not the best Evil Dead movie, but it's fun. I don't think there's a bad movie in the franchise, to be quite honest with you. So, if anybody has any thoughts on that, let me know. But yeah, Floyd's my guy, and I really appreciate that. Let's see who else has something. We got people saying hello to each other. What are you looking forward to the next year ahead? Um, if we're are we talking movies? If we're talking movies, it's weird for me. I don't watch. I try not to watch a lot of trailers, and I see trailers and sometimes try to forget about them because I like to go into a movie cold. So let me. I'm just going to another screen and seeing what else let's put movies upcoming 2024. Um, yeah, movies upcoming 2024. I'm just looking at this list. And okay, because I just forget. Other than like, I know I'm going to see Bad Boys this weekend, and I know I'm going to see Deadpool and Wolverine in a few weeks. When that comes out. Now here I've got a list. Uh, Venom 3, I don't care. Inside Out 2, I'm looking forward to, but it's weird. It's the first one is one of those movies I think the adults like more than kids, because most kids I talk to, and I teach kids, I teach fourth grade, they're like, oh, this movie's so boring. Uh, Moana 2, not thrilled for it, even though I really love the original, and it's one of those things where okay, I'll wait and see. Here's one I'm looking forward to: Joker 2 or Joker Folie à deux. I don't know how you say that. Sorry, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm really curious to do with this, supposed musical. I'm really curious. And Lady Gaga's been good in the movies I've seen her in. Quiet Place Day One. I'm a big Lupita Nyong'o fan, so I'm definitely looking at that. Alien Romulus. Yep, Alien Romulus is one. I'm another one that's cautiously optimistic. I like Prometheus. I still haven't watched Revenant or whatever the next one after that is called. I can find it, but you guys let me know. Uh, Gladiator 2, not I'm curious. I don't know what to think of Gladiator 2. Uh, yeah, I'm curious on that one. Curious, but probably not curious enough to go see it in theaters, to be honest with you. Unless there is a trailer when I'm sitting in another movie that really impresses me, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta see that. There's one. There's Terrifier 3 that I'm looking forward to, but I'm really looking forward to Maxine, which is going to be the third movie in I guess the Pearl trilogy. I don't know, what are we calling that. It started with X, and then Pearl was after that, and now Maxine is coming out. I did not like Ty West, the director of all three of these movies. I did not like anything he had done prior to X. I hated his movies. The what's the one, the House of the Devil? I think that's what it's called. I couldn't stand it. Uh, the Innkeepers, Mika and Kira and we've had our back and forth on that one. I hate that movie. I saw a couple of shorts that Ty West did as part of larger movie anthologies, horror anthologies, and his entries into those I thought was always the worst or one of the worst. But I, X got some good word of mouth, and I'm on AMC uh, A list, so I get to see 3 movies a week free if I want to. And I wanted to go to movies, so let's check out X. And I was floored. I loved it. And then I watched Pearl. Really, really loved that one. So I'm looking forward to Maxine. So that's a big one for me coming up. That might be one of the biggest ones other than Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, yep, that was I did speak about KG. This Mika, thank you. She's a lovely content. Keep doing you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And it's cool uh to get those affirmations from people who watch you. So I really do take those things to heart. And most of you here are content creators, so you understand that. Yeah, it's cool when somebody watches a video. It's extra cool. It's even cool when they like it because you just see the likes. But it's extra cool when they leave a comment and say, "Hey, you're doing a great job." And it's even cooler when they're here returning to your channel time after time after time, whether it's through the videos or through live streams, and you keep seeing the same names, you keep getting comments from those people. So I do appreciate it. And I'm not a person who fishes for attention. And if you know me in real life, I don't really socialize a lot. So this is cool. And Anthony's chiming in on my superhero talk. He says Dark Knight and Infinity War are both in my top 5 as well. What else is in your top 5, Anthony? Let me know. I'm curious because we might be kindred spirits in that matter. Uh, Giz, the slow mo shot of Heath was his head out of the car with his head out of the car is so badass. I think the movie reminds me more of a Michael Mann film than a Nolan film, but that's just me. I can see that. I've never heard that before, but I can definitely see that. And Michael Mann has made some really good movies and some that are really underrated. I'm one of those people who thinks Miami Vice is a really underrated movie. It's fantastic. Um, Heat, of course, is classic. So yeah, I could see that. Top five animated superhero films. Anthony's just going all in on it. I love it. All right, top five animated superhero films. The Incredibles and Incredibles 2 will probably be in that top five. Let's see what else would there. What else would be? Um, if we're gonna include all the DC animated movies, if we're doing that, then I would say Under the Red Hood, Batman Under the Red Hood would be one of those. The Flashpoint Paradox would be another of those. That's a Justice League movie. Still, Incredibles and Incredibles 2 are fantastic. Uh, let's see. Just turning my head really quick. Gotham Knight. I want to talk about Gotham Knight. Gotham Knight is is a Batman movie that is set basically between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and it is highly experimental. So a lot of people hate that movie. I love that. I thought it was phenomenal. A lot of people just couldn't get with it because we got I think six, if I remember correctly, six different animators and six different storytellers telling stories that take place between those two movies. And so Batman looks different in every version. One version is kind of anime, and another version it almost looks like the same art style of Spot from the Into the Spider Verse movies. Um, Other versions look more traditional, like the DC, like regular DC Batman that you would see. And I just thought they did some fantastic things. It's highly experimental. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my top five animated, but I do want to take a moment to talk about that one because it is really good. And speaking of Batman, the Lego Batman movie is one of my favorite Batman movies. Period. Probably my number two. Matter of fact, it is. It's my number two. I did a video. Speaking of 2 years, being in the game 2 years, one of my earlier videos in the first year I know was I ranked Batman movies, all the theatrically released Batman movies, and that was my number two. So I do love that movie. See some other more mainstream ones. Big Hero 6 is really good. Megamind is really good. Um, that's good enough, I think. That's good enough. Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go to the movies. I'm a big fan of Teen Titans Go because a lot of people think they're stupid, but I love them. So that was cool. We got Nothing to Lose, Funniest Martin movie. Yeah, Nothing to Lose was good. Nothing to Lose is good. No, can't take anything away from that one. It's been a while since I've seen that one, to be honest with you. Great Martin Lawrence ranking of films. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, I think Thin Line Between Love and Hate is one that gets left out a lot. And that's Kira saying, yeah, she loves that one. Good. And Giz, I really like Nothing to Lose. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. If I watch it again, maybe that one would pop up, creep up, and change my rankings. It says Nothing to Lose, so funny. Love that dancing security guard scene. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty fun. Love Martin in National Security. You know what? I don't know if I've seen all of National Security. I think I have, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a really long time since I watched that one. So I got to check that one out again. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Excellent. Thank you, Cal. Yes, we got some fans of that one. Giz, the scene with the spider in the car always makes me laugh. Yeah. I love our girl Lynn Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield did crazy very well in Thin Line. I'm going to pause here for just a second, and I'm going to turn around on my shelf here. And we talked about this movie a little bit ago, and I do want to show it so that Monkey can see that my slipcover is in really good shape, and I got it from Walmart. But this is a movie actually still wrapped in plastic, so I'm going to open it while I'm talking, and I'm going to pull. There is a digital code in here, isn't there? Yep, there's a digital code in here. Sometimes some of these movies they kind of sneak by, even the studio ones sometimes. Boutique labels, I get it. There's no digital for those, but we expect it from the studio ones. And with Dream Scenario, I'm gonna put that one up on the screen. By the way, if anybody did get the code for The Crow, let me know because I still haven't seen that. Same thing for Dream Scenario. If you get it, go ahead and put it in the chat. And if not, here's what's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. If the end of the night and it doesn't look like anybody's claimed them, because I know they might be kind of hard to see right now, I will post them on. I will post them on the. I do it on the community tab in YouTube and in on Instagram, and first come first serve right there. There is the digital code for Dream Scenario. Oh, let's stay up straight. And yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable movie. It's cool to see the Nicolas Cage renaissance that's been going on for the last, I guess, 3 years now. I really did enjoy. I enjoyed Renfield. Pig might be his best movie of the last handful of years, to be honest with you. I thought that was fantastic, and I'm moving it just a little closer because it looks like it's a little blurry on my end. Not sure how it looks to you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it down. So maybe we'll give away one or two more. And again, I didn't have a chance to plan this out because it was supposed to be a movie swap, and then I was changing things over for this stream to make it the 2 year celebration. And then I got called out of the house to do something, and that took long. So bunch of crappy excuses you don't care about. Yep, crumbling plastic, throwing it over here. I'll get that one after I'm done. Otherwise, my wife will kill me. Um, but yeah, I so sorry I didn't have them typed up like I really wanted to. Claude Banks, Claude. He's talking about life. Big Floyd's talking about life. Like and no, I can't even say that. I was gonna talk about those pies, man. I was gonna talk about them pies, but I can't say what them pies are. But you know what them pies are. All right, if you've seen the movie, you know what them pies are. All right. Bonnie's here, Mama Blu-ray. Congrats. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And she is another great supporter of a lot of channels. You know, I go on a lot of chats and she's there. And of course, that for anybody who doesn't know, that is Sue's mom of Sue and movies. Sue movies. Jeez, I'm so bad with names. It's Sue's mom. But anyway, Sue is fantastic. So check out her channel for sure. Giz Hellraiser is one of my favorite films of all time. Not Mighty Peking and no Hellraiser. I must go to bed now with a sad little. I'm sorry, man. It's just we all got those movies we missed, and Hellraisers and Mighty Peking is both two of mine. So yeah, I want to see Hellraisers. What's over the last couple years, what's been holding me back is I don't have any Hellraisers movies. I didn't buy the 4K or anything like that, and I do want to uh, I want to get the set before I watch them. So we'll see. Kira, Die Hard films. So have you not seen any Die Hard films, Kira? Interesting. So even if you see the first three, you've seen enough. Sarah says I'll be checking on videos. Anthony, I'm guessing she's gonna check out your channel. Vince, the movie man, is here. What's going on, Vince? He says congrats. Really appreciate that. And Dimension Scott, can you name your top 5 superhero guilty pleasures titles? Okay, that was a mouthful, and I'm gonna give it a go. I will say this: I'm not a guilty pleasures kind of person. I If I like it, I like it. I don't feel guilty about it. If you don't like it, okay, that's fine. If I like it, I like it. And but knowing that some of these movies that I really like, people don't. And I think for me, the one that stands out most is Blank Man, because I know there are a lot of people that just hate it and think it's just the stupidest thing ever. But Blank Man is one for me for sure. Um, and I'm turning around because my superhero movies are all right here. And I've been promising a superhero video showing all my superhero movies. The video's made, guys. I made the video. I just haven't had time to edit it. It's coming. You'll see all of these movies right here. And plus all these box sets that I have that are in TV series that are superhero related. Pretty good size number. But stay tuned for that one. But just looking backwards, guys, and I'm going to hold the mic with me so that you can actually hear me. Looking, I would say, I guess we can call Catwoman a guilty pleasure, not because I think it's a good movie, because it's terrible. It's just one of those that I like because it's terrible. One of those so bad it's awesome kind of movies. And anybody just clicking on is going, what kind of horrible YouTubing is this? He's looking away from the camera. Um, that would be one. That so we'll call that two. We'll call Blank Man. We'll call Catwoman two. Conan the Destroyer. I guess we can call that three because it's not really good either, but it's fun to watch. So that would be three. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna come back with a couple that people have never heard of, or a lot of people have never heard of. Um, I'm just gonna grab one of them here, and I'll tell you what it is in just a second. And where's the other one that I'm gonna grab? I will say, I'm gonna grab this one. All right. So the last two. So we called Blank Man one, and Blank Man I think is really good. It's just hilarious. It's a superhero spoof, and a lot of people get that. And for whatever reason, I don't know. It's really a spoof of Adam West Batman and earlier superhero movies. So that's why that one's up there for me. I mentioned Catwoman as something that's really horrible, but I enjoy watching. Same thing for Conan the Destroyer. Same thing for that. These other two also fall in that same range. I think they're bad movies, but they're fun movies. They're really fun to watch. And the first one, a lot of you have heard of, and some of you have even seen, and this is a bootleg copy. So I don't care what you say about that, but this is Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. And yep, somebody made a Blu-ray of it. And to be quite honest with you, it might be the best Fantastic Four movie we've actually gotten if you don't count The Incredibles, because that's really the best Fantastic Four movie. It's goofy as all get out, but I enjoy it. And then this other one, I'm gonna guess that nobody has seen it in this chat, and I'm gonna guess that maybe only people who have heard of it watched a video I made ranking every black superhero movie ever made. Um, and this is Black Ninja. Black Ninja is low budget, it's bad, but it's fun. He is it's basically a Batman type character. He's a semi-rich guy during the daytime. He's a lawyer. He's like Daredevil in that sense. Is he's a lawyer by day, and by night he fights crime. But he's a ninja. He doesn't have any superpowers. Other than he can fight. He's apparently he's a black ninja. So that's one. Let me know if anybody's even heard of that one. If you haven't heard of it, go back and watch that video I'm talking about, and then let me know. One of my better videos, I think. Anyway, Bonnie says, "Hey, twins, and all you beautiful people in the chat." She's talking to the twins. I thought she was talking about Twins the movie because we talked about that a little earlier, but definitely, definitely, what's up to all the beautiful people. And just seeing if there are any other questions, or we do have somebody else here. Tracy is here, the nerdy film girl. Thank you, Tracy. Congratulations on 2 years. Keep rocking your channel. Always great content. I appreciate it. And Tracy is a fantastic content creator in her own right. I spent a lot of time, a lot of Tuesdays when I got off work watching her afternoon streams. I hope those come back at some point, but I know life intervenes and all that kind of stuff. And I got to get you on this channel, which I haven't. I have you. She did a stream about henchmen with me, where we had a bunch of people ranking our top henchmen, but I haven't had her on Movie Swap, so I do want to do that also. And apparently, Mama Blu-ray and maybe Sue and the twins, they're gonna have a PJ party. So cool. Hope you guys have great time with those. Saris has got my 2 new releases. Cool. Glad you did. And yep, they're down. I'm gonna let you guys get all that worked out, and I'll see what else we got popping down out here. Kira, The Honeymooners is a classic. Absolutely, I love The Honeymooners. Just classic TV. And my favorite episode, of course, is the $64,000 question, where he has to study all the songs. He picked contemporary music, I think was the category. If I'm Was it contemporary? Yeah, it was contemporary music. And so he studied all these songs and he can name them just instantly, 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 instantly. And as soon as he had Ed Norton, was his upstairs neighbor and his best friend, they rented a piano and Norton would play these songs. And I mean, as soon as he started playing them, Ralph was naming them when they were practicing. But before he played the song, the actual song, he played a little intro. I'm not gonna do that because I just ruined it. That doesn't even sound like it. But anyway, I hear it in my head. I just can't do it. Anyway, he played that little intro before every song, and that was the joke. Ralph was getting all sick of it. So of course he gets on the show. He's all confident. He's been studying. I'm spoiling it, but it's like 70 years old. Who cares? And the host asks Ralph. He's like, what do you plan on doing? Because it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Any of these games today, you got to every so often you got to stop and make a choice whether you want to keep your winnings and continue. And Ralph is like, as soon as the host asks him the very first thing or says hello to him, introduces him, Ralph's like, no need to ask, any questions along the way. I'm going all the way to the top. I'm $64,000. It's mine. I'm going. And of course, the very first song they play is the little intro that Ed Norton plays. And he's like, at first, waiting on the actual song, and it doesn't come, and he doesn't know what that song is. And it is much more hilarious than me explaining it. But hey, that's what it is. Cal says hard to count House Party as he is not the lead, but if we count it, it has to be in there. Love and Hate, Bad Boys 1, Blue Street, Black Knight, Bad Boys 2. Okay, cool. I do understand that we're talking about Martin Lawrence movies again, and yeah, he's definitely a secondary character in that he's just a DJ, but he has some classic moments in there, especially when my man is bumping the DJ booth or the DJ table. Um, he's got some good moments in there. Uh, we used to watch The Honeymooners as well. Mika, yep. Top 5 European films. I will see your answer tomorrow. Must sleep now. All right, so top 5 European films. That's tough. I'm not like a super expert on European films, but I think I've seen my fair share. And so, top 5 European films. The Wicker Man is probably top of that list for me. Wicker Man is awesome. Um, what is the name of that other movie? It's sad because I'm gonna say it's an awesome movie, and I can't remember the name of the movie. It's a political thriller. Do I have it? I don't have it. Um, Not a political thriller, a political satire. When I think of it, I'll let you know. So I'll come back to it. I'll try to leave that out for now. But that's one. Uh, hmm. Oh, German horror movie, Mommy Dearest, fantastic movie. That's a great one. Let's see. I'm trying to think of European movies off the top of my head. And it's one of those things you get on a stream and somebody asks you a question like that, and then you can't think of it. You can't think of the answers. So you know what? I'm gonna go back to my letterbox and let's pull up. I'm doing it on my side. I know you guys can't see it. I'm pulling up films and let's see if we can sort them. How are we gonna sort them? Let's see. This is decade, genre, service, rating, release date. So I'm gonna have to go another way I'm gonna have to figure out another way to sort it. So let's just go into stats. And I know it might be kind of boring me talking my way through this app right here, but give me a second. So I want to answer the man's question. Man asked me a question. I want to answer his question. So let's stats. I'm going to all time. You know what? I'm going to actually share the screen. And so you can see what my letterbox actually looks like while I'm talking through it. All right. So let's take a look. So life in films. When I first joined Letterboxd, I took it upon myself to try to remember every single movie I saw, and I came up with, well, at that time it was in the 4,000s. So right now I'm standing at 5,411 movies that I remember seeing. Doesn't necessarily doesn't necessarily mean I remember the plot, but I remember seeing them. Um, and you can see all this stuff. Last few years was when I really started logging movies every day or every time I see a movie. Let me put it that way. All right, let's see. Movies UK. It says 611 films. I'm just gonna see what kind of pops out at me. Uh, Poor Things a European film. Wow. Well, I guess it would be technically. I don't think of it as such. So I'm not gonna count it because I'm gonna only because that's one of those movies that really feels. I mean, it's got a European feel to it, and I know but it's also got a lot of American appeal to it. And some of these movies are just lies, like Barbie's here, the Marvel, Shiro's here, Oppenheimer's here. So let's see. Yeah, a lot of these movies, I'm not buying these UK movies. Yeah, I'm just not, guys. What in the world? I'm gonna go towards the end of the list. There's the Wicker Man. Uh, I guess if we count the Babadook is also one that I really love, and it seems like I'm doing all horror with these European movies. There, I promise you, there's a political satire here. Um, let's see, decade, and we're gonna go early 2000s. They got Burn After Reading on here. All right. Oh, Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. That one I don't see it here, but that one kind of popped into my head. Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels is one that I really do love. That was before Guy Ritchie came into America. There's another one, Bronson, and Bronson was one of Tom Hardy's early performances. That's him here, and that is a crazy movie. That loosely based on a true story. Nicholas Winding Refn. A lot of people either love him or hate him, and I'm in the kind of love him camp. So this is what I'm gonna do, guys. Since you've now given me something to research, because I don't just want to give a half-ass answer for this one. Shaun of the Dead. I just noticed it because I see Run Fat Boy run here. Shaun of the Dead, another one. But I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna put out a video for my top European movies. So thank you for that. And let's see what else we got. And in the chat, if we have any more questions, because we're going to get ready to put a pin in it. We've been here for uh, almost an hour 50, so we're gonna put a pin in it right there. And again, where you guys are kind of talking back and forth with each other, I'm just kind of scooting past that. Here's Sarah's got a comment about sitcoms. As you just named my sitcoms, not Different World. I like the sitcoms you just named. I do really like A Different World also. And just congratulating me again. And Caprice is here, Draculina Hart. Hey Caprice, happy anniversary, my darling. I can't say darling like you say it. So one of these days I gotta have you back on the channel just so you can say that. And so happy for you and so proud to call you my friend. Much love to you, darling. Thank you as to you so much for supporting me and just chit-chatting some from time to time when we're not on YouTube. So really appreciate that. Vince, my 1 year on YouTube is coming up. Crazy, feels like just yesterday. Yeah, I didn't even realize it. I just, I saw some other anniversaries going by that people were having, and that's Vince's comment. And I was like, well, when is my anniversary? I know I did. I missed the year completely. I didn't even do anything there because I just missed it. So I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, it's really coming up really fast. Sarah's is also her 1 year anniversary. Very cool. And Evil Dead, great franchise. Talking about the Evil Dead Rise movie. I agree that there really isn't a bad film in the bunch. Yep, I don't think so. That Alien trailer, just saying. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it playing, and the one I saw in theaters, I don't think was a full trailer. It was not much happening at all, so I couldn't really make a decision other than knowing that it's an Alien movie. So excited for the Alien movie. Yep. Mika's excited for the Alien movie. I get it. And yeah, okay, so we must be talking about the same thing. Says yeah, teaser was A, but trailer was low key. Okay, this looks good. Okay, I might have to check out the full trailer. I'm not a trailer person though, really. I watch I watch a trailer like for most movies. I watch one like when they first put it out, so months and months and months in advance is usually when I see these trailers. And other than when I go to the theaters and see them, I don't watch them again, and I don't watch the first trees, the first official and the second official and the teaser to the third official. I don't watch all those trailers. One is way more. I have faith in it with Fede Alvarez behind it. That makes sense. And yep, I know you love the innkeepers. I know. So we might just have to just chop that movie up one day. Just the three of us and really get into that movie and what my likes and dislikes are about about that movie. Well, not my likes because there's none almost, but my dislikes and your likes. See if you can bring me into the light, or I can drag you into the dark side. So we gotta think about that. I've got that idea formulating. And Cal still haven't watched X. Can't get through it. Interesting, interesting. It is a lot. It is slow at the beginning, and but I think it kept my attention. So that was cool. And yes, it's a lot of homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a lot of other movies from the '70s. So I get it. I get it. Loved Miami Vice film. Think it's underrated as well. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie. All right. Sarah says, keep up the good work. Don't work too hard. Other subscribers leaving me out of the chat. I know how to pick other chats. So I get it, Sarah. Sarah, we'll talk and we'll have to talk in the DMs. But I understand some things on both sides of what's going on with all that. So I would say don't take it personal. Just keep making the content that you love to create. That's all I'm going to say about that here. Kira loved Miami Vice. Heat, Sleepers, Casino, A Bronx Tale, Goodfellas. Not all Michael Mann movies. Matter of fact, three of those are not Michael Mann movies. If that's what you were doing there, I'm not really sure. But those are. I'm trying to think. What was this? Yeah, but those are good movies. I haven't seen Sleepers actually. I do need to see Sleepers. Cal says Gotham Knight or Batman Year One. No, Gotham Knight. I do like Batman Year One, and that's directly taken from the graphic novel. I do like that one. Gotham Knight is something different. It's like I said, it is actually set in the same universe as the Nolan films and takes place between uh, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Like I said, it's highly experimental. I would not blame any person who put it on and say, "Yo, Dell, this is crap. This is garbage." But I wouldn't blame anybody either if they were like, "Yo, you were onto something." So that's where we are. This is Kira saying beautiful things. The twins both say beautiful things often. So I've always wanted to see Batman Hush. Batman Hush is pretty good. Yes. Uh, brought to the big screen. Still crossing my fingers on. Wow, that would be interesting. I would like to see that one brought to the big screen. Some of the other ones I wouldn't mind seeing on the big screen. Some of the other Batman animated movies would be, of course, I would love to see Under the Red Hood on the big screen. Batman Ninja, because the visuals in that movie are just phenomenal, at least in my opinion. Then there's The Dark Knight Returns, which is really they made it as a one and a two and 2.5 hours long. When you put the two together, same thing pretty much goes for the is it the Long Halloween? Yeah, yeah, the Long Halloween part one and two. When you put them together, a really long movie. Like yeah, 2 plus 2.5 hours. So I would love to see those brought to the big screen as well. Anthony, my top five superhero films. All right, here we go. The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, great choice. Blade, The Avengers Infinity War. Ooh, Avengers over Avengers Infinity War. I don't hate the choice, but I flip those. And I'm a Blade 2 over Blade guy. Even though I love Blade, but I'm a Blade 2 over Blade guy. But not a bad movie in here for sure. Those are all fantastic choices. So I would definitely I love those picks. Sarah seems to agree. Jeff says studio should definitely have digital. Yep. People saying hi to Jeff, Cal, Ant Man, all awesome. The Avengers one in top five is shaky but nice list. Okay, I got thrown off for a second with the Ant Man, but yeah, talking to Anthony and Avengers OG Avengers in top five is shaky. Yeah, I feel like that too because it's not one of my favorite MCU movies, but it is a good movie. So and a lot of people count that as another one of those kind of watershed moments that kind of changed things because it was just a feat just to get it to the screen. Team up movies like that really didn't exist, and not especially not ones that you purposely work towards. Like if you go way back in the day with the Universal movie, Universal Monsters, not King Kong, with Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Mummy, and all those movies. Eventually, they started crossing over in each other's movies and would come together in different movies, but it wasn't a planned thing that happened. With Marvel, this was a planned thing that happened, and the Avengers was really the first big, huge piece of that plan. It was getting all those solo characters into that one movie and making it work. So I get people's love for it. Um, Sarah, I need the steelbook for The Crow. It's still out there, still available. You can definitely get it. Hello, Mama Blue. You can definitely get that steelbook. I've seen it um, for a good price. For a good price right now. So I get that. And here's Anthony talking about Gotham Knight. Gotham Knight is excellent. I completely agree with you. Highly experimental, and I loved all of the different animation styles. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those movies where you might watch and be like, "Oh, this is weird," but if it gets you, then you are really right there. Kira looking forward to seeing Nicolas Cage in Long Legs this July. Yeah, I forgotten about Long Legs. He says putting money on it. Yeah, that is that's one I am looking forward to. Everybody's been talking about how that's like at least the trailer anyway is like the scariest thing ever. I don't think I've seen the trailer. Steve Moody redeemed the code for Dream Scenario. Very cool. Congratulations, Steve, on that one. And yeah, Jeff says someone got it. And thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. And yes, we'll check your collection. Anthony talking to Cal said nothing will beat the feeling of seeing the Avengers assemble for the first time. He's answering him about the OG Avengers. It was an incredible theater experience, and that's pretty much what I was getting at. And I saw that movie in IMAX. It was one of my first IMAX experience, not my first, but one of my first. And I've still probably only seen less than 10 movies in IMAX, honestly. Um, so I really remembered that it was 3D, which I didn't care for because when all the aliens come down out of the sky, it just looked off. It looks much better without the 3D. Uh, okay, curious as I've seen the Die Hard movie franchise, highlighting them among my faves. Okay, very cool, very cool. Corey's here. What's going on, Corey? He says, "Sorry, I'm late." Why? You were live. Corey. Corey had a live stream going. Started at 8, and yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting to see Corey because Corey's streams tend to go long. So I'm glad you made it. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, exactly. Corey is in the house. So everybody's saying hey to him. And so we got some back and forth about the Avengers. It's nostalgia. If that's the case, Superman, Tim Burton, Batman's can't be beat. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Cal. I get it, but I'm with you as far as where Avengers ranks. I rank it below, but you know, the man has it up in his top five. He has it in his top five. It's all good. And I do love Tim Burton's Batman and Superman the movie. So I do love those movies. Definitely nostalgia for me on both of those cases. And let's see if there's any. I'm going to get to the end of the chat and then we're going to wrap it up here, or at least try to get to the end of it. And right now, like I said, I'm kind of going by some of the highs back and forth. Blank Man and the Meteor Man of Fire. I do have the Meteor Man up here too. I almost mentioned that, but yeah, there's a very fun movie. Meteor Man is so cheesy. It's so cheesy, but it's fun. And I know it's cheesy because I just watched that one last year sometime. Um, so I really did enjoy that one. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me do this here for a minute. So I'm going to do some sign language for a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, Black Man and Meteor Man are fire. I really do enjoy those movies. Um, let's see, 2 years, fans or something. Yeah, what's going on? We got fan. Is it both or just one of the fans? That's all I'm sure. They were great guests on here also, and I have a lot of fun watching their channel. They have some good, really good live streams, and they've been playing the Rotten Tomatoes game a lot lately. One of these days, I want to get on that game. It's my selfish plug. I do want to get on that game one day. And Sarah's been making new life changes, making new videos. Very cool. Yeah, we all make a lot of life changes, and that's just kind of what happens, right? Jeff says, "Well, my Walmart still hasn't stocked the steel. Working out of town tomorrow, so maybe." Yeah, my Walmarts. It took a while to get the steelbooks in, and of course it's Walmart, so they only restock them every so often, whenever somebody feels like it, pretty much. And there's no set schedule, it doesn't seem. And no Walmart in my area, at least not that I've found, has had the $5 steel books. So you guys that got them, congrats. I'm jealous. Cal, it's all subjective. Not mad at Ant-Man, but you, sir, putting Logan over Superman, it's on site. Logan is great. I love Logan. And it looks like we've reached the end, guys, and just a hair over 2 hours right now. So we're gonna shut it down. And again, thank you to everybody who came here, who hung out, who's watched any videos at all over these 2 years, who's commented, who's just lurked, who's hang out at the live streams or went to another person's channel and subscribed to them because they were following me. Thank you to all of you guys. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, this next year will be even bigger and better. I know just here is subscribed to me already, but if you're watching on replay, I'm getting close to 500 subscribers. I'm like 463 or something when I started the night. So we'll come back when we get to 500 subs and do another just live stream where we just kind of hang out. Movie swap, hopefully next Thursday. I'll let you know on that, but the guests will be Dave and Rich from Faces for Radio, and we're gonna break down 3 movies. I gave away 2 of them. The other one I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you is Before the Devil Knows You're Dead. That's Philip Seymour Hoffman movie, one of his last before he passed. And yeah, I'm gonna have a good time with that. And then next Saturday for sure, I'm on their channel doing by the numbers. So come by and watch us rank some movies, including Bad Boys, Ride or Die. That one is definitely on the docket, as is What Jennifer Did, the Netflix documentary. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the other 3 movies are because there's 3 more movies. Just these last ones here. Jeff says, yeah, all the steals are stocked, just not the Crow. And he did get the $5 steals. Lucky you. Steve saying, have a good night, everyone. I'm going to say, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.